All right. Thank you everyone for participating today, and thank you to our mentors to also be here. Now, we will be the host for the entire 1.5 hours. So we are volunteers for UX India this year. I'm Chamara Lakshmi. I'm a product designer working with US Technology right now. And here with me, I have Vaishnavi.
Yes, thank you so much everyone for being part of this amazing event. My name is Vaishnavi and will be your host for the evening, and I'm a student and an aspiring entrepreneur.
All right. Now let's some spotlight on our mentors. So that was a grand welcome, right? So now let's see. I have a question for you, Vaishnavi, first. Now, how will you describe your own self, the essence of who you are, in just one liner, like a sentence?
Only one sentence? Well,
Yes.
that's tough. I think I would say that I'm an animal lover and a designer, always looking forward to creating experiences that make a difference.
Oh, thank you for that. Now, coming back to our mentors, just like Vaishnavi described it, can you please, one by one, describe yourself just in one liner? All right, we'll start here.
I'm a talkative person.
But there are rules here, just one liner. Sorry about that.
I'm a talkative, creative person leading the user experience practice for Capgemini, especially into finance and insurance domain. I like to travel. I like to talk to people, do a lot of research. And
That was one.
talkative, talkative.
Thank you. I'm Naveen. I'm a fitness enthusiast, you can say, and I love to design and solve the complex problems.
All
Little
right.
technical.
Thank you, Navi.
Hi everyone, this is Madhukar Joshi. I'm a design practitioner, that's how I call it myself. And I'm the one who wants to travel the world and explore the culture and the different people personas.
That's nice. So how many countries you have traveled so far? Just
Well,
curious.
traveling need not be visiting many countries, right? So, it can be, India is the biggest one. And of course, yes, right? Internal also. Absolutely. But yeah,
That's
I like
nice.
to travel on my two-wheeler, right, which is on my bike. And speak with as many different people that I get into. So no reservation, but just travel and explore the possibilities.
Oh, that's very interesting.
All right. I'm Manish. I'm a business leader who was previously a design leader, trying to find out a space for psychology in business and design.
All right. Thank you, Manish. Over to you, Shri.
This is tough. Okay, let me try. Myself, Shri Ransube. I'm a design practitioner and constantly solving multiple fintech solutions in industry so far. That's it, I think.
Hi, everyone. I'm here from Vietnam, and I'm a head of design for IT services company there. And I think if I look at my life, it's design, it's coffee, it's travel, and it's my motorbike that keep me going each day. I love each and every one of them. So they're the driving force. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John. That was an interesting one-liner. And I see a lot of bike enthusiasts here. All right, thank you for that. Let's have a round of applause, shall we? All right, so guys, like MC mentioned, we'll be starting the session with a Q&A here. And just for, we will be sharing a Mentimeter QR code, all right? It'll be shared on screen. Yeah, don't scan right away. Yeah, so you can, it's okay. So as you can see, now you know that who they are. I'm sure many of you must have looked up on, who they are on LinkedIn as well. So I'm sure you have questions. So whatever questions you have, please shoot it up. And you have the next 3 minutes to post your question using the link. That's when you scan it, you'll get it. So your time starts now at 2:39. We'll stop at 2:42. All right.
We'll start by tackling the top 10 most questions, and we'll move forward. Yes, guys, time's up. The questions have coming, and we'll be discussing on the top 10 questions soon. Just a few minutes, stay with us.
There are a total of 117 questions we have received. That's a lot of questions. Thank you.
Okay, there is a question. How can designers incorporate AI into their workflow ethically while still remaining ahead of the curve?
Okay. So by the way, there are a bunch of questions about portfolio, and I think we'll have a portfolio review later. So we'll not take those. We'll probably talk about portfolio later, right?
Yes.
Just want to make sure that you guys know. Okay. Let me take a stab at AI. Okay, first off. So the question is how a designer can incorporate AI. First of all, ethically, not ethically is separate. Let's keep it separate for now. Okay. How do you incorporate AI into your workflows? So think about a designer and think about what designer is doing. Okay, first of all, so let's assume that you are a UX designer and not a visual designer. Because if you're a visual designer, you already have AI tools incorporated in Photoshop and whatnot. So we'll not talk about that. We'll talk about a UX guy. Okay. Now, in UX, how experienced you are. So let's say you are fairly experienced. You usually talk to the customer, client about their workflows, about their business, and figure out the journey maps for them. I'm just making the context in, right? So that I can answer that. Okay. So now, while let's say you are working on for some client, for some journey map, for some persona, you're working on that challenge. That challenge typically is associated with a particular context, which includes either some platform or some sector or some area. So think about geography, think about sector, geography in the sense, think about, is it the APAC challenge or a Australia challenge or a US challenge, right? Versus sector, is it a healthcare challenge versus a automotive challenge or whatnot, right? So you then look at which type of challenge this is, okay? And then literally you can use AI to get a first cut about who this persona might be experiencing in that area and that particular sector. Okay. Now I'll give you one example. What we have done. Literally, what we've done. What we've incorporated in our business. So what we have done is we have built a tool where there are two AIs talking to each other. So there are two personas we have created. So think about a persona of a doctor in US who's probably a neurologist, and then there is a patient in UK who has some issues, right? Whatever. So we can literally build these personas and let them talk to each other. Obviously, it's a chat. They don't talk. They chat, right? So they can interact with each other, and we can get insights from that interaction. It's all happening automatically through AI. So this will give us a good sort of a starting point to sort of see what the challenge could be, what the possible solutions might be, what the directions is, right? And then eventually it'll aid you towards thinking about who do I have to pick up for my user research, who do I talk to, which possible stakeholders might be helping me in these areas, and what might be my questions. That's how I would use AI in design, right? Anyone else? Good. Good. The person who asked me, get the answer? Yes? No?
Have a one-on-one
Okay.
also.
Next question.
Okay, one interesting question that's about, I think it got scrolled, but I remember the question. What will make you an impactful designer? Kapil.
I think the question is like, how you can be an impactful person. See, why are we designers? We are there to solve the problems of customers. So think in this way that any customer comes to you or any stakeholder comes to you, they have a problem and you are a guy who are going to solve that problem. Now, how easily, how simplified solution you give to that person, that will impact. So there were other questions also related to this, that how we can be, ahead of the race in the UX. So if you want to come out of your own way of working, you have to create a solution which your customer needs. It's not that it is designed by someone else. So probably understand the problem. Unless you understand the problem, you cannot create the solution. And to understand the problem, you have to understand the domain. The domain can be anything. It can be manufacturing, it can be finance, it can be retail. So the subject needs to be understood properly, then only you are able to come to a solution, and that will make an impact on your design. Of course, your presentation and communication still how you sell your design to customer.
And for an impactful designer, work on the problem that actually impacts a lot of people. So the problem which impacts millions of people instead of a smaller area. So I can say mobility is one of them. That's why I'm saying if you want to be impactful, then you have to impact millions of people. So that choose a problem wisely.
All right, so thank you. So along with whatever is said, I would also add few, right? So one, if you want to be an impactful designer, don't just design. Understand business. Because business is paying your salary, right? So if you just stay in your cocoon of design, you won't be able to crack the glass shield. I mean, bunch of you might be too young to see, hey, why do I get into business? But try and understand who is paying you, why they are paying you. Think about the business challenge along with the design challenge, and try and marry those two. Unless you do that, you won't be able to see the impact, because impact happens at the business and not at design. That's the only point I want to add.
Yeah, I think in addition to that, it's also being able to effectively articulate and communicate your ideas. I think with UX, the subject matter that we talk about is often very challenging to explain to other people. So when you're wanting to be impactful within the business so that your ideas can flow out to the end product and get those approvals, it's about articulation of those complex matters and being someone that is compelling in the way that you describe things to the people that are going to make decisions as to whether your designs go ahead or not. And also about being a negotiator, the art of negotiations and mediating and bringing people into consensus. When you have an amazing idea, those skills really come into play when you're trying to convince everyone else in the room that the research that you put into that design makes sense from a user perspective, a business perspective, and any other party that's involved in this product that you're putting together. So it's this combination of explaining your things clearly and articulately while having understanding of the commercial realities behind it and being able to speak with conviction and clarity around the data that's driving those decisions so that you can get agreement on these products that you're designing.
And I just wanted to add on to that. Again, what sums up this insights is as a designer, don't stick to our own smaller area. Okay, so now somebody has told us what to execute, what to work on, but larger picture, get into the business. So mind everything as your business, right? And you should be in a position to walk into any meeting room and make sense of it, right? And have that ability to articulate the challenge statement that you hear from the most, that you're interacting, interviewing, and building your perspectives, right? So every story has a three sides, right? So your story, my story, and the truth. So when you're building something or a solution for any of the challenge or a problem statement, it's very hard to identify whether this is exactly the needs of the end user or this is the want of the end user. So it's the battle that we need to deal with every situation, right? So art of course, as John just said, the storytelling is very, very important, right? Because you may have tons of ideas, tons of solutions in mind, but if you are unable to articulate that in a meaningful way so that other people can get out of your statements, that's where the problem comes in, right? So I think continue to strengthen and build your skills around the business and also storytelling, which is again when you dig deeper, it's like a communication. How exactly you can be more empathetic when you talk to people, and how exactly you capture the perspectives into actionable items, right? So that's 2 cents from me.
All right, just a time check. We have 5 more minutes. We'll close it then. Yeah.
Thank you. There is also one question which is very relevant to what we have answered, and the question is, what is design in future according to you? I will get it started because we have already answered half of the question here. Because if we don't understand business, if you don't understand market, if you don't understand how to sell our design, we are nowhere in the design stream. When we say design in future according to you, 20 years back when we started getting into the design, working on the design, we were just learning about typography, color scheme, campaigns, and the print media and digital media. That's it. But now we are teaching business aspects of it in the college. If you're not, it's a high time to learn during your college. That's why we have these internships, right? These internships expose you to the industry to have better understanding about the business. And then if I compare it to the future of design, we have already one accompanying guy along with us. We call it as GPT. You have that generative AI always with you, and if you're not going with your friend, man, you might be missing your train or maybe a plane. So first thing first, the immediate future, start accompanying or try practicing with your accompany guy who is GPT. And then on top of it, ride the new rides. I mean, there are a lot of horizons that we are actually seeing at this point, because this is not something we as an individual designing it, but definitely it is a designer who is a human, having a human touch and designing it for human. I mean, that's always there. Design is always required by human. I mean, that's what I feel. I'll pass it on to others.
All right. I slightly disagree. So here is what is happening, and it's very interesting. Okay, so you guys should know this. 15, 20 years back, we used to have this awesome developer, Maverick, who's sitting at the corner, coding on his desk. Okay, and now if you notice, this Maverick is gone. So we have DevOps. You know what DevOps is? They have automated the whole damn development, including testing. So you don't have a individual developer who's running the whole show. It's distributed. The same thing is happening for design right now. So you have design systems. You have automation in design. Somebody asked me, right, this question. Same thing is happening right now. So now, as these guys figured out new ways to work with automation, we also have to figure out new ways to work with automation. These businesses are evolving now. Try and understand how how automation and design will go hand. How do you solve that, the challenge, the business problem through design? And if you don't do it, then people are not looking for mavericks right now. I'm looking for somebody who understands design, who could do design and also understand tech and also understand business. That's what is happening right now. It's a changing world for designers. That's my view, by the way.
Time check, last 1 minute.
Okay. How can I start freelance? John? Kapil, freelance?
What word?
Freelance.
Of course, definitely. Like there are a lot of platforms. I can say that.
You have to tell the question.
Okay, how can I start freelance? That's the question. Okay. See, right now there are a lot of platforms. So if you start a freelance, definitely you have to create your portfolio profile and start uploading on those websites. It's very much visible and there are a lot of out there. Just create your profile, that's it. No need to, now that time has gone where you have to network with a lot of people, company and start pushing your portfolio. No, everything is online. Just create your profile and do it. Simple.
And this is the platform, UX India. Meet people, talk about it, talk about your own credibility, how exactly you are starting your career, what is your future vision, how exactly you're interacting and communicating with your friends. Keep talking about it, right? So that is the first place, because unless you speak and you start talking about your ideas and what exactly you want to accomplish, nothing is second step. Right? The first and foremost is you need to believe, yeah, this is exactly what I want to go do in my life and the career, and I will talk to my friend who's sitting next to me, and that's the first thing. And the gatherings like this, and then you start building ideas, right? So
yeah, so that might give you the first project. Okay, when I was doing freelancing like long time back, my next project came from commitment. So whatever you committed, if you don't deliver that, this guy will never come back. And by the way, getting that guy back is the easiest thing. If you're doing freelance, that's the key. How many return customers are coming back to you? They already know you, they've already done business with you. They should never go from you. That's the key. I mean, getting new business is difficult, but getting return and making sure they are there with you is the key.
I think one thing I would say is that going into freelance as your first step may not be the best way. I think when I look back to when I was a freelancer, it was because I was at an agency. And through the agency, I understood the commercial realities. I could understand what customers wanted. I could understand the workflow. And when I had more exposure to do resource and project timelines and estimating and all these things and get those all packed in, then you're ready to freelance. So I strongly recommend go into an agency, a small one, a medium-sized one, learn all of that, and then go into freelancing.
Okay, I'll just conclude it with one word answer: attitude. Because you need to build that attitude to being a consultant to anyone. So that's the one word answer for, I think we concluded with that one, because if you have to do it, have it in your attitude, and then we can move to head. Over to you, Soma, if anything.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
Over to you, Vaishnavi.
Yes, thank you to our mentors for your enlightening words. And the fun doesn't stop here. Next up, the portfolio review. But before that, let's give a big round of applause for our mentors and yourselves. 171 questions we got in just a minute. That's big. So give a hand for that.
Yeah, in just 3 minutes. If we open it for 10 minutes, I don't know. All right. All right, so we'll be showcasing a certain selected portfolio. Now, how it will work, we have handpicked. First of all, thank you to everyone who sent their portfolio, who took some time out and sent it. So we did reviewed it, and we have selected finalized certain number of portfolios, which we are going to showcase here. You'll be able to view them behind the screen, so you might have to disperse a little bit. Yeah. So our mentors will be giving a generic like overview on the portfolio, what it should have and shouldn't have. And I myself, being a product designer, I know the importance of portfolio. So just a fun activity. How many of you have their portfolio completed as of today? Completed, I said. Oh my God, really? In progress?
Wow. At least
Hello? Yeah. How many of you are who is, I have yet not started my portfolio?
who are planning to start in this week?
Yeah, this is a golden opportunity. So we'll start it. And in case, let's say, if you want to ask any question, you can also raise your hand. We will take it. We minimal questions, but mostly our mentors will be reviewing it. All right.
We need some context here. If you click on It's Me, what is in it? Okay, one person with combination of screens. Okay, go back. Scroll. Is it planning? Wow. Scroll, scroll, scroll. This is one project, right? This is one project.
Yeah, it's just one project, yeah.
Yep, Kapil.
I think the first important thing which I would like to tell you, because you guys are still in colleges and probably you will start your journey maybe in next 1 year. You should never add the name of your client. The first feedback in your portfolio or in your profile, like I saw IKEA, you can say a European furniture company or a large furniture house, something like never, because every organization you work or even if you work as a freelancer, that employer, that person trusts you that you are not going to share those things to anyone. And when you put all those things into your portfolio, it goes to the entire world because you're searching for a job. So the first feedback is do not give the name of your customer. The second feedback which is the portfolio. If we are reviewing a portfolio, we have a couple of minutes only. We will not go deep dive at the initial screening level. The problem statement should come directly. What was the problem statement? What you tried to solve? For in this case, probably there is an app which is online application for purchasing the furniture. So instead of going to IKEA store, you can directly purchase on your store. So the person has used AR, VR. So that's a good thing. But I was not able to understand the problem statement. So the problem statement should be there. Then how did you solve that problem? What was your approach? Where you can put your design strategy or whatever activity you have done. And finally, take one journey. You should not keep the entire detailed screenshots of your application. Just take one complex journey which you solved and how it impacted. For example, in the initial, it takes 10 clicks. By a no design, it takes only 3 clicks. So you have saved 7 clicks, and it's 1 click is $1 billion. So that's my point of view.
First of all, I think great showcase. So congratulations, whoever is showcasing this. Second observation is, I mean, this is how I see, right? So first thing is the storyline, right? What's the storyline? What is the story you want to communicate? Now, of course, if you scroll from up and down and, go through every detail, there are tons of work which is happening, right? So you talk about information architecture, there is the visual design, there is a design system, there are screens design, and there is a research. Now, it's important to highlight what is your contribution in this entire project, right? Because this project is not one man's, or one woman contribution. Looks like there is a teamwork, right? So highlight what is your contribution and how exactly you are portraying this work as your contribution. And if it is a team contribution, it is absolutely fine in making a statement. It is a collective effort of a team of 5 members, and we have distributed responsibility like this. And my role in this entire thing is, I played multiple roles. I was a design researcher, I was a visual designer, and I was also, playing contribution to information architecture. There is a low fidelity, high fidelity, work here. But in everything, you also need to provide an insights about how did you see the problem and what model you applied here, whether it is problem tree analysis, stakeholder analysis, primary or a secondary research. If yes, add more details, which will talk more about your strength. Because if you're applying for a research position, now you need to highlight that segment more rather than giving far more importance to the entire project. But how will I know that, okay, where exactly your strength lies in? And whoever is reviewing, as Kapil just said, probably we will spend about 5 minutes, max, right? So how exactly you grab that attention is very, very important. So choose your sections very, very carefully, because you don't want other people to focus on the visual design more, where you wanted to apply for a research position, and you'll get rejected, right? Thank you.
I would extend on exactly what he was saying before, is we need a sense of context as to where did you fit into creating this, and to get a feel for what the team was that were involved and what your direct role and responsibilities were, and who was the line of report for this project. Did you go to the product owner? Who was the person that was overseeing this as your line report? Very important. I see this format quite often, where you have many, many different research artifacts and different aspects of the workflow for your UX. The important thing for me when I look at it and I can see all these assets is I want to get a sense of what went into it, what were the inputs. If it's a persona profile, what data drove that persona profile? I want to know the authenticity of it. I want to know, is this real, or is this something that was dreamt up in a meeting room? And I want to know, out of all of these research outputs, how did they directly influence the design? It's so many cases. I see these many, many pages of research artifacts, but when I actually have the interview with the designer, it's very hard for them to explain how the research insights could be taken and have decisions made with them with confidence and clarity. They can't point to specific designs and say, you know what, this specific innovation was because we did this questionnaire, or we did this stakeholder meeting, or we did this. And I want to see that. I want to see that before I go into the interview. Sometimes that's the make or break as to how real this research actually is. And if you didn't do the research, would it have largely been the same design? I really want to know the depth and the quality and how it's informed what you've put together.
Nicely put. So I think if you scroll again,
Sure.
I'll try to conclude it again. So I think someone who is actually wanted to show, they want to show whatever I can do in the job. But at times we have to pick. It's not about showcasing what I can do. It's sometimes we have to tell a story to keep the engagement high. So the good part of it is a good presentation, the design, etc. But the storytelling part is quite missing. We have to build stories around. So I remember Madhukar just said that we will have 5 minutes. He's quite liberal, but the fact is design leaders or someone who is actually reviewing your portfolio will not have more than 6-7 minutes first to get the first engagement done. The next 20 seconds where you have to make them impressed with the start of problem statement that you actually have solved. And the next 30-40 seconds is to just impress them whatever I have done and what I can do in the industry. And if at all, I mean, the way John has mentioned, instead of showcasing so many things, show them some glimpse. This is how I did a research. This is what the output, and this is what the conversion. The conversion part is missing, right? If you scroll the entire part, it is all about design and design and design, and then you realize the part that you must have heard from some time back. Where is the business? Where is the conversion? If you have that tinge on top of it, see the change, the story is completely changed. If you cover that we actually have solved a problem for this industry with this conversion, that may be your statement where you will keep your engagement high. Is it making sense? Maybe you want to add up?
Just a time check. We have spent 12 minutes on this portfolio.
Okay, move.
All right, we'll go to the next portfolio. So this is the homepage, like this is how it looks like, and then we can go inside any of the case studies.
So you mean someone has submitted this as a portfolio link?
Yes, it's a portfolio link.
Oh. Again, I mean, you remember what we said? We need to keep the going start. I mean, our story started with the something. If you give them, what's the UX problem that we say when we have a lot of options? Do we get into it?
Probably click on one of those.
Here comes the rain again. I feel an air of silence. The echoes call my name. And it feels like nothing matters, like nothing matters. As the siren song brings to life for me. And it feels like nothing matters, like nothing matters. As the siren song brings to life for me.
Can you move up the challenge statement? Yeah. So to me, this looks like a report, not a portfolio. Okay. So here is what my initial thoughts are. I haven't gone through it. I can't read that fast. But here's my initial thought after scanning this, right? I want to see not just the final output, which is there, which is nicely looking. Can you show me the raw data? And what I mean by raw data is, I've seen Cisco somewhere. So which means this person must have been in conversation with B2B guys, maybe bunch of stakeholders, right? You must have taken some raw sketching, maybe a picture, I don't know, what maybe a scribble on your diary. If you're thinking about this report or this solution while sipping a cup of coffee, you might have scribbled it on your napkin with your pen, pencil, whatever, right? So that's what I'm talking about. I want to see that data. This looks like a finished product to me, right? And I also want to see this, but I want to see how this is being built. What is the raw data which is going in? Chat GPT can do this, right? I don't know if it's Chat GPT or you. So I want to know, and plus, you know what? If by creating a awesome story on this nicely looking browser, any of you think you will solve the problem, you will not, right? So we are not looking for a solution, we're looking for your thought process. That's the key. So think about it. How are you going to tell your thought process to someone like this gang? This is what is going in my head, which will come from your raw data. Put your raw data in here, along with a finished product, which is fine. Put your raw data. That's my only input to this one, by the way.
Yeah, just to add one more. When we frame the problem, then definitely Cisco commerce experience. Then here we are targeting whom? Like it's a business user, it's a customer. When we say leading to inefficiencies and frustration, what do you mean by inefficiency? Is it a revenue loss, funnel drop? What is that? So it won't be an entire product, might be a feature, might be a flow. And when we say frustration, what kind of frustration user is feeling? And how are we going to solve that? So to define a problem, it has to be a little objective rather than too subjective and too broad. Because it's very difficult to scan out the entire thing and then come out with the conclusion, okay, this guy is right or not.
And again, you have the challenge and the problem statement and the goal statement, right? But how did you arrive at these statements, right? I'm sure, just pay attention to what the design principles that you have followed or methods that you followed to arrive at this statement. So for example, challenge and the problem statement, I'm sure everyone is well versed with how might we, model, right? So try to accommodate how might we, right? And probably talk about, okay, so this is to arrive at the challenge statement. So this is the path that I embarked on, right? So this is the model that we have applied. So that will also talk about your ability to understand the different methods of the design principles to execute the outcome. Otherwise, I don't know whether the challenge and the problem statement was given to you, whether the goal was given to you by someone, and you are asked to execute on some of the outcome that you have showcased in the portfolio, right? So absolutely, everything looks amazing. Your roles also defined. I just saw that. Overall, yes, good story. But also, if you need to make your own credibility mark, I think also give a perspective that okay, this is the methods that I was trying to apply.
Also, one thing was missing in this entire huge case study, that what is the tangible benefits. You should also talk about the benefits, that you did blah blah things, you solved, you understood the problem, you came to the solution, but how it's going to benefit. And remember, when you complete your work, it goes to development, which takes some of time. So you have to always write what are the tangible benefits. For example, you said 12 times cross-platform disconnect, but did this problem solve after your solution? Yes or no? Maybe it is reduced to 2 times or 3 times. So you have to highlight that. Second thing, the portfolio is coming from a designer. So it should look like it is from designer, not from a technical person. These are all like a Word document. You should use more graphics to present numbers, some kind of infographics, some kind of pictures to showcase, where pictures talks a lot about this. So use your design skills also, more graphic elements also in a portfolio to make it wow. Because we as a reviewer, we always not only we, anyone just attract with some of the things. Oh, wow, this looks very good. But it will be a plain vanilla. People will just close in within 2 seconds.
Are we able to go to the homepage again?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So I would self-brand. I'm not sure if I would be hiring innovation UX. And that's not who I'm hiring. I'm hiring the person behind all of this work. And I think that's a very important part that you shouldn't overlook in your portfolio. Something that exhibits who you are. Who am I hiring as a person? Your personality, your design philosophy, your position on design topics. Everything that you live and breathe around your career of design, I want to know a little bit about that. And I'm not sure if it's conveyed to me in this homepage. It's a very corporate and agency-oriented look and feel. And I think as a early designer, there's a tendency to want to create portfolios that look like you're building an agency. But in fact, I'm hiring you. I'm hiring you as a practitioner, and I want to know, what am I getting into? Who am I actually bringing onto my team? What are their values? What's their culture? I want to know more about them, and I can't feel any of that from this. And I think when I'm trying to look at portfolios, yes, it's technical competence. I want them to be solid designers that understand UX and commercial understanding, but I also want to get a sense of, do I want to work with this person? And that needs to be conveyed through the portfolio as well.
Just a time check. We have last 10 minutes. Yeah.
One more thing, can I add?
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so here is one more thing you should think about, which is super critical. See, a lot of us don't understand technology very well, okay? What I mean is, this is a site created by this guy, which is cool. But a lot of us also, well, we don't know how to do this. We might know how to upload our work, upload our portfolio in Adobe site or somewhere else, right? Now, don't think this is a plus. Well, this is a plus. Well, maybe. I don't consider this as the plus, by the way. We are looking at the work and not really the present. Well, presentation is cool. I will give some marks to it. But if you don't really know how to do this, don't sweat. Focus on your work. Focus on your raw data. Upload that story in Adobe. It's fine. Don't worry about creating this if you don't know. It's okay.
All right, we'll go to the next portfolio. Also, a few of you were asking that if we can get our portfolio reviewed. So just after this round, we'll have a mentors roundtable where one-on-one you can connect with them. So if you have your, I'm sure not non-completed portfolio in progress one, you can just get it reviewed then and have Q&A. Yeah.
Okay, can you just scroll, or this is the page? Okay.
I don't know. It's a lot of projects. Too many.
Wow. So which one we have to pick?
You have to pick the E-Raga.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
It says UX case study with mobile application. Here, client, just hold on.
Oh, sorry.
We know the role, team, and scope, okay? Scroll. No, okay. Fine, just hold on. Okay, scroll. Scroll. Competitive analysis, scroll. Interview. Empathy. Persona. Journey map. Sorting. AI, okay. wireframes, design, high fidelity. Do we have any conversion at the end? Okay.
No, it's next project.
Same problem, I think. Anything different that you want to add up?
I think as a data, there's very good data. I think the background of the overall project, it looks like it's an online app for learning music. But again, there was a competitive analysis, but the problem statement was not stated. I don't know what I missed, but I don't see any problem statement which was mentioned there. Once again, I will say that everyone has a myth that if you put your all data, you will be, selected. No, you have to take some critical section or a module which you have solved, because you cannot explain your entire project in just one couple of minutes or with one document. That's my analysis.
No, again, we're not here to criticize every single portfolio that we are reviewing, but we are trying our best to give you that, the critique or a perspective, how exactly you can go from good to great, right? So that's the only point of view. Again, in every time, you build your portfolio, your project, or, your any presentations, keep three things in mind, which are the three C's, right? One is connect, how connected you are with the end users or, every stakeholder. Second one is collaborative, how exactly you are building everything in a collaborative way, because you are connecting with the product manager, you're connecting with the technology, you're connecting with the client or stakeholders. And the last but not the least, the final C is, your ability to communicate. What is the story that you want to communicate to the end audience, right? So these are the three things you just keep in mind. I know to build a portfolio, a lot of hard work, a lot of thinking, a lot of design efforts goes into. But again, please take our inputs as collective critique and not the criticism. We are not trying to find fault in everything. I think some of the great projects are showcased here. So many congratulations. I'm sure you can make some of these tweaks from all the industry experts, right? Thank you.
One last thing. I think a lot of these pages are using the long form format, and I think we're all in agreement that we're kind of time-starved when we're going through many portfolios, sometimes in a day, in each week. And I think you may want to think of it that you're serving two potential use cases. One is the time-starved recruiter that just needs to get to the point and address that. And so you may want to think about, what is your elevator pitch at the beginning of the case study, that if you only had that ride with the elevator and the recruiter's there beside you, what would you say in that 20 seconds? Put that at the top of the case study. And then you've enticed them, and then they want to drill in and see a little more detail, and you have that too. And so I think that makes a big difference to satisfy both of those cases.
Yeah, just a time check, last 2 minutes for this round, yeah.
I think instead of going to the next project or a next portfolio, we would love to answer a few questions which we actually left behind for the portfolios. And some of the questions which are still were there, like how would we impress with the portfolio for recruiters? I mean, there are multiple stakeholders, always remember. Multiple stakeholders for your portfolio. One is your hiring manager, but the someone who is actually always there to do the first screening done. And that screening typically done by the recruitment team or HR person, depending on what size of company that you are getting in. So you have to map all their mental models. So recruiter will not go in detail. He will just say, okay, whether your portfolio linkage exists. Do you have the keywords which are there required mentioned in the JD? In your, maybe in a resume, in your portfolio, or whatever it is. And the last part is something actually catch up your attention by your hiring manager. Are they really have that much of time? Is your portfolio is relevant to the industry, to the company, to the profile, or whatever it is? So typically what happened, the junior roles are getting impressed by whatever the college portfolio that you have. But honestly, they don't get served if you are not answering the JD points added. So we have to match those mental models, remember that, and that will make more sense for the questions. Madhukar, anything?
No, thank you. You covered it.
Okay, so the good news is the first portfolio and this portfolio I would call for interview for UX research, for UX folks. The middle portfolio I'm going to call for interview for UX researcher folks, right? So they all pass. Having said that, this template, add some of your story. This is a usual template which comes up. Okay, if you add your story, it's a pass. Looking at it, let's do that.
All right, I think we can wrap this round then, right? All right, thank you very much, and thank you everyone, whoever has submitted their portfolios. So now we will move to Mentors Roundtable. That's the major highlight of the day. So I request first, can you please empty the first 6 tables and move back, please? Yeah. So what will happen here, we are requesting all the mentors to please occupy 1 table per mentor. And now that you know them, and I think many of you might have questions or specific portfolio related or career counseling. Whatever is your question, you can just take one of the space here with one of the mentors. And yeah. Perfect. All right, guys, you can sit actually. Sit, because the rotational I understood. So what we'll do, mentors will move to all the directions. Yeah, different directions we can move, you can occupy. And see, there will be table shuffling, so don't take too much time. I will ping after 15 minutes. So please shuffle, whoever had the discussion, please rotate and give your other peers time, all right?